Greetings from Hollywood Movies. Today I will show you a supernatural horror movie. SHAITAAN. A mysterious man named Vanraj uses black magic to control girls, and by sacrificing and presenting those girls to his devil master, he can rule the world and become God. At the start of the movie, we see the family of a chartered accountant named Kabir and his spouse Jyoti, together with their children Dhruv and Janvi, planning to visit their farmhouse on vacation. While on the journey, they stopped at a motel briefly to rest and encountered a man named Vanraj. A kind individual approaches Kabir, offering to buy tea and engaging in conversation. Kabir, appreciative of the gesture, responds warmly, inviting the guest to join their family for tea. Vanraj and Kabir mutually introduces themselves. As they enjoy their tea, Janvi candidly admits her dislike for the aroma of tea and politely asks Vanraj to shift away. In exchange for the bread, Vanraj presents Janvi with a sweet, enticing her with a seemingly innocent treat, which she accepts happily. After consuming the sweet offered by Vanraj, Janvi becomes completely under his control, obediently following his command. Despite Janvi's initial reluctance, Vanraj orders her to eat the bread, and she obediently complies with his command. Kabir sees Janvi surprisingly eating the bread, as she was rejected to eat it earlier. "Here, Jyoti, take these biscuits," Vanraj said, handing her a pack as she sat in the car. "You can have them once you reach the farmhouse. Make sure you eat them then." He instructed her firmly, emphasizing the importance of eating them at the designated time. After reaching the farmhouse and unloading all the stuff from the car, Jyoti remained seated, eating a pack of biscuits Vanraj had given her earlier. This act of obedience underscores the extent of Vanraj's control over Janvi. Family happily enjoys their time together. Vanraj reached the farmhouse and was glad to see that Jyoti was doing as he had told her to do. Janvi lets Vanraj in the farmhouse without taking anyone's permission. Vanraj informs Kabir that his phone's battery has died. He requested he will leave them alone once battery get charged. Meanwhile, Jyoti, feeling doubtful about Vanraj's sudden appearance, expresses her concerns to Kabir and suggests that he should leave. However, Kabir reassures her, stating that he will leave once Vanraj's phone gets charged. Here, Janvi is telling him about all her personal secrets. While Vanraj sits for longer than expected, Dhruv starts to distract Janvi to play. Vanraj orders Janvi to play around with Dhruv like she never has before. Caught off guard, Janvi joins in the play, but Dhruv's fear escalates quickly, leading to frantic screams. Kabir and Jyoti, alarmed by the commotion, rush to interfere and defuse the situation, ensuring everyone's safety and well-being. Jyoti keenly observes Janvi's gradual but alarming transformation under Vanraj's influence. She notices how Janvi becomes increasingly compliant to Vanraj's suggestions, even divulging her deepest secrets to him. Jyoti sees how Janvi's thoughts and actions are subtly guided by Vanraj's influence, like a puppet on strings, making her more and more unable to resist his control. As Vanraj repeatedly interferes in family matters and his influence over Janvi becomes more pronounced, Kabir feels compelled to act. He confronts Vanraj and insists that he leaves their place. The family is unsettled by his presence and Kabir, sensing danger, urges him to leave. Despite Jyoti's doubts and suspicions, Vanraj's hold over Janvi acts as his shield, preventing her father from expelling him from the house. Janvi, under Vanraj's command, remains loyal to him, further complicating the situation for the family. With Vanraj firmly entrenched and Janvi under his control, the family finds themselves in a precarious situation. Kabir and Jyoti asked Vanraj what he did to her daughter, and Jyoti guessed that Vanraj did a black magic. Vanraj revels in his newfound power over Janvi, as using it to his advantage to maintain his presence in the household. When Kabir denied accepting that statement, Vanraj started playing dirty games. He instructs Janvi to cry like a child and scream. Both realized the situation and ask Vanraj for his demands. He instructs both to put all cell phones available at the table, then orders Janvi to bring and destroy all cell phones and cut all communications present at home. Vanraj responds he needs Guardian's permission to carry Janvi with him. His satanic goal only accomplishes when the parents give a permission by their own will and release her for lifetime. Kabir refuses and starts beaten. Vairaj's malevolence escalates and orders Janvi to beat his younger brother. Suddenly, the doorbell rang and police approached the door. They showed up and said they were having a party. It was all because Janvi was in the kitchen on a gas cylinder, and if the police got to know anything suspicious, she blew herself up. Police stated they got blank calls repeatedly from Jyotis's phone, which she concealed earlier. Kabir assumes charge and provides cover, admitting to the authorities that his son is the cause of the disturbance. After accepting Kabir's confession, the policeman returned. Jyoti and Kabir struggling to regain control and protect their family from further harm. Dhruv were bleeding. Kabir tries to make a deal with Vanraj, offering him money so he won't harm them and leave Janvi as well. But Vanraj, showing his evil side, burns the money as he doesn't care about it. Instead, he reveals his scary plan to take over the whole world because he thinks he's as powerful as a god. With each passing moment, his grip on her mind tightens. Vanraj then makes sinister demands, like forcing Janvi to hurt herself and carry out cruel and bizarre acts, like to eat tea leaves. Vanraj commands Janvi to dance for his entertainment. Here, while Kabir handling Dhruv, he plans to record split words of Vanraj. Dhruv skillfully combined the quotes from Vanraj with other testimonies to fabricate a story in which Vanraj appears to be giving the order to release the girls from his custody. He also distracts Vanraj and plots a live location from his phone so he could trace him after he left. He tells Janvi to laugh herself to death. In exchange, Vanraj gives Janvi the order to kill her brother, but this forces Kabir to let him go. Despite suffering severe injuries from Janvi's throw from the terrace, he manages to survive her attempt. Kabir and Jyoti finally give permission to take Janvi, after realizing their kids would possibly perish. Vanraj takes Janvi. As Jyoti rushes Dhruv to the hospital, Kabir tracks Dhruv to Vanraj's hiding place using a phone tracker he had installed earlier. He discovers that Vanraj has detained 108 more other girls in the same hypnotic position as Janvi. Janvi, being the final victim, is set to be sacrificed by Vanraj. He believes that humans do not deserve free will and intends to complete a ritual that will grant him the power to control anyone at his will. One of Vanraj's followers captures Kabir and subjects him to a severe beating. The intense moment and danger faced by Kabir as he confronts the dark forces aligned with Vanraj. Varnan warns Kabir about the hypnotized girls, suggesting that they will harm anyone who tries to stop him. In a desperate attempt to Vanraj's plans, Kabir manages to interrupt his black magic ritual. However, Kabir just finds himself in a perilous situation. In a decisive moment, he seizes the opportunity and cutting his tongue. Kabir plays a recording of Vanraj's voice announcing all girls' freedom. This crafty move not only ends the girls' enchantment, but also stops them from hurting Kabir. It's evidence of Kabir's cunning and will outwit Vanraj and free Janvi and the other females from his destructive grip. This crafty move not only ends the girls' enchantment, but also stops them from hurting Kabir. Relieved that the hostages have been brought home safely, Kabir and his family find themselves recovering in the hospital. However, their relief is short-lived as they receive alarming news from the police. Vanraj has vanished without a trace. After a year of turmoil and uncertainty, Kabir finds himself consumed by a relentless thirst for justice. He discloses a startling revelation in this covert location. He has been holding Vanraj captive covertly for the entire time. Kabir tells Vanraj in a terrifying last encounter that their interactions are far from ended. He leaves Vanraj to languish in his captivity with a steely resolve, a just retribution for his crimes against Kabir's family.